What's made this more sustainable for you than, let's just say, a diet that you might have tried in the past?
Um, I found food that I like. And so even the snacks, like the different Quest bars. And so there's so many options. I just went on Amazon and just started buying stuff.
Hmm.
And I'm like, ooh, I don't like that. I do like this, because one of the things I realized, if it's something I don't like, I won't keep it up. I
Right.
will do it for a week, maybe two, if I'm really motivated. It's questionable. But for the long haul, because I was looking for something, and one of the things that happened early on in this, I looked at my wife and I go, this is too hard. I can't do this again. So whatever I do, it's got to be something, a play that I can run beyond just, hey, I lost 20 pounds. Like, it's got to be a play that I could run forever. And so that's what I was looking for. So from the shakes to the snacks, and then honestly, the perfect plate. It's so simple. But I'm like, I can do that anywhere. And I've just learned how at any restaurant, because with my job, I do eat out a good bit. And I've just learned how to order the perfect plate. And that's doable. And it's delicious. The other thing that happened that's been the biggest benefit, probably my wife would say, is I started cooking.
Mm.
So
She loves that, huh?
yeah, and I'm not a great cook, but I can follow recipes, and I just started firing up the grill and cooking lean meats and doing that kind of thing. And the crazy thing is, all of a sudden, our family was around the dinner table together for a longer period of time. I got three teenagers that wouldn't look at their phone and would talk for 30 minutes. Not
Wow.
3 hours, right? Okay, so it's not utopia here. But like for me, the fact that their phone is put away and they're sitting there and they're done eating and could be off with their friends, but they're sitting at the table. I hope they never watch this, because they'll realize they're doing it and stop.
We'll
But
censor this or something.
but that's the kind of thing that came out of the program for us. Like the benefits. Um, I mean, I can't name them all.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it's so fundamental to food and family. I mean, it's kind of like the core of what we've done. Maybe even think back to the earliest men and women around a fire, cooking some food and spending time together. And it's unfortunately something I see that we've lost because of fast food and because of phones and this kind of like being around all the time lifestyle. And it is amazing what happens when you get some simple, healthy food that your family loves and you gather everybody around and people like it. And then they spend more time and then the relationships deepen. And then it creates an environment of positivity and health that reinforces everything. So instead of having this backwards backsliding momentum, you can have this forward snowballing momentum. And it seems like that's what your family's achieved. And that's incredible.
Yeah, it's
Another
been
question I have for you, Jeff, is, and this is going to be specific to you, as a leader of a church, as a man of God, how has this program impacted the spiritual dimension of your life, both in leadership in the church, but with also your personal relationship? What have been the changes there?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think for me, one of the things Paul talks about is he talks about over and over how our body and our spirit are not separate, that we're connected beings. And my physical body, when I feel well, has a spiritual dynamic and dimension to it. And I think as a pastor, I had undervalued that. Paul says that I buffet my body, I discipline my body, like, and that has a spiritual. He's not doing it just so he'll stay in shape or
Hmm.
win a fitness contest. He's doing that because spiritually there are overtones and there are benefits. So one of the things I think that's been a spiritual benefit, a number of people in our congregation, I think about half of our church now has joined the gym.
Hmm.
So I think our local gym owes you guys some kind of commission or something, right?
That's incredible.
And that's been great. And it's so much so that, like, whenever I go in there, I have to allot extra time because I'm going to be seeing our people and connecting, which is great. And I love that. But that's been a spiritual piece. The second piece that I would say is that one of the dynamics that happens is when you are disciplined physically, there's something that happens to you spiritually. And so one of the things that's happened to me that's been incredible is I started the walking. So one of the things that I read was saying, hey, walk after your meals and do this and it
Mm-hmm.
will help you. Well, I actually started just prayer walking,
Mm-hmm.
and something about being active with my body and something where I'm not having to think about it, but it frees my mind and my spirit to connect to God in a deeper way than I had before. And for me, I tend to be a guy that's very driven, and I needed that pull out of gear. I'm walking, I'm not doing something that's incredibly strenuous,
Mm-hmm.
but that has freed my mind and my heart to connect to God in a deeper way. And then the third thing I would say is, I think as a leader, I'm called to set an example. I mean, Paul says, hey, both in Philippians chapter 3 and chapter 4, he talks about, you didn't just follow my teaching, you followed my way of life. Like I was leading you. It was that Christianity isn't just this content that I give you to listen to, it's something I'm modeling and I'm living. And I think being able to do that for our bodies given me a greater influence and ability to lead and encourage our church. And so there's a ton of spiritual benefits that, if I'm honest, I didn't think about on the front end. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to. I really don't know how to graph it, but I do feel like my head's clearer, my heart's clearer. I mean, spiritually,
Mm-hmm.
as a result of being more in shape physically. And so I don't know how that mind body connection's there, but we know it's the reality. Scientists more and more are showing whenever we are overweight and when we don't feel well, that our spiritual and our mental health suffers
Oh yeah.
as a result of that. And so we've been talking about that actually in our church and teaching that to our body through this process.
Yeah. I relate to that. It's been my exact personal experience too. Jeff, what's next for you? I mean, you're at this amazing point right now. What's next in your future with as a fit father, as a leader, as a
Well,
husband, as all of these things?
yeah. Well, the first thing that I did is I signed me and my boys up for a Spartan race. So that's
Nice.
coming up on August the 1st. I just thought something about, number one, I've got to stay in shape. So I've got to stay after it, be a motivator. But secondly, just having that experience with my boys and being covered in mud, I think would be a
Oh,
fun
yeah.
story to have. Um, I don't know in terms of fit fathers what the future looks like. I really hope that I can be an ambassador and encouragement to other guys, because I struggled. I struggled up and down, and I'm painting it like a little better picture right now, but Kat would tell you that I really struggled with motivation, with quitting. It was an up and down process for me, and so um, I really hope I can help other guys with that. I love seeing the Facebook feeds and guys just getting after it.